Okay, I think I've got this working. God only knows. I'm going to try. It's too much to have to type it up and people don't read, and it's too important what's happened. I was semi-catatonic 3 days and in convulsions. I couldn't eat. Everything I tried to eat, I was allergic. I was allergic, as if I was allergic. That's called metabolic breakdown. I don't have time to relist unnecessary information, but I'm making this video because I suddenly took a terminal attack. My Parkinsonism disease reversed back to where it was 30 years ago. I was semi-catatonic, unable to walk, speak more than 2 words, read or write. My brain was locked. At first, I was so horrified after surviving a 70-year Holocaust. I'm now 74. I just wanted to die. Normal reaction for somebody like me. But the thought of living with dying all over again and being a paraplegic was frankly more than I could bear. I am living with my fiancé of 30 years, so killing myself was not an option. He'd never let me do it. So I endured 3 days, confused, semi-catatonic, and if I tried to eat, as I say, I went into horrific convulsions, which is metabolic breakdown. That's what I was like 30 years ago. If I ate even an organic apple, which I'm not allergic to, I took an allergic attack. Unlike people with Alzheimer's who frankly do not know something is wrong. People like me live with the nightmare of being very aware of that their brain is trapped, imprisoned inside a body that cannot function without the brain. But the brain is frozen, and no matter how hard you try, you can't make it work. Pain, of course, is so excruciating. I was just slapping ice packs on my neck. For me, ice cold temperatures always helped. Not saying it helps for everybody, but it helps for me with pain, and I'm allergic to drugs anyway. Then on day 4, my brain threw me a picture. My attack was as if I had eaten canola oil, aspartame, or in combination with a multivitamin. Now, that is something that happened to me at the age of 52. I'm now 74. In Collingwood. I was so beautiful at 52. A gorgeous hunk, 25 years old, a millionaire, wanted to marry me so he could take care of me for the rest of my life. I turned him down, of course, taking advantage of someone who's not my lifestyle. Anyhow, now my brain is flying around in flashbacks all over the place when I saw the question, did the NIOSH Department of Chemical Hazards in Washington, D.C. recommend for having ingested poison? In flashbacks, I am seeing myself researching as I saw myself eating buckets of potatoes, chips, yogurt, and flushing with Senecot. So I immediately stopped trying to eat. I just went back to eating no canola oil chips, 1 bag with at least 2 to 3 cups of zero-fat, all-natural yogurt, then taking at first 2 Senecot, because I wanted to make sure I got it through me. I hadn't been able to eat much in days, 4 days actually. And then I rested. About 5 hours later, I ate a baked potato with a cup or more of yogurt, followed by 1 Senecot. Several hours later, I repeat another baked or steamed potato with a cup of yogurt and 1 Senecot. Now, what this is doing is that potatoes mixed with yogurt, the NIOSH Department of Chemical Hazards recommended milk or cream or sour cream, whatever. It acts as a sponge to help pull the poison out of you through your intestines and down into the toilet. So this is basically what I did for 1 week. And I gained 8 pounds. And that wasn't very good for me because I have a very large fat cell parasitical tumor on my right leg. Yeah, I got a lot wrong with me, but hey. No, let's not go there. But finally, the attack and my disease was going into remission. I had a very serious financial tax problem resolved from my 97-year-old mother that I didn't have time to be sick for long, nor did I have time to research the exact cause of this terrifying, horrific attack. Once I had the papers delivered to a kind humanitarian accountant, Brian Killa, and reporting to my lovely, handsome, young, kind lawyer, Trent Faldine, that I am now able to communicate, I then urgently began to research with Google. That means asking myself first, what did I do different in this past month? And now that the fog had lifted off my brain, I realized my mother, now 97, is also suddenly not sick like me, but she can't speak coherently. Her sentences don't make any sense. You ask her a simple question like, how do you feel? And she answers like some kind of nonsense. Oh, I talked to so-and-so yesterday. And I'm going, what? No, not, I don't want, how are you feeling? Anyway, we went round and round in circles and she wasn't making any sense. So as soon as I got the attack in remission, I drove over to the house and I went through her canned goods first, found nothing. Next, the fridge, nope, nothing there. Everything was okay. But here was the kicker. In her freezer, I see an ice cream, an additive, Polysorbate 80. That's P-O-L-Y, S like Sam, O-R, B for Bob, A-T-E, 80. Polysorbate 80. Now, what in heaven's name is that? Okay. God bless Google, because it did not take me long to discover, to my surprise, that this is a very dangerous chemical additive. I mean, made more dangerous by the very fact that by itself, it is not in the least bit toxic. However, a recent study has shown that polysorbate is a factor in the development of bowel problems, triggering serious colitis attacks. Well, I didn't need that. But more importantly, even more deadly, is the fact that polysorbate will change the chemistry. It'll change the biochemistry of other chemicals. For example, eat it and then take a mighty vitamin like I did that time in Collingwood in 1993, and it allows these 2 or 3 vitamins or chemical additives or whatever to change its biochemistry to cross the blood-brain barrier, and it'll trigger brain damage, which can either be temporary or brain dysfunction, but in my case can become permanent, followed by death. Oh, wow. I mean, is that insidious, people, or what? Well, I didn't have time to write this all up and get to doctors and blah, blah. So I'm putting it on YouTube. For God's sakes, people, be careful. Anyone with allergies of any kind, no matter how minor or even chemically hypersensitive, beware of Polysorbate 80. I hate the very thought. I can't even think of how many tens of thousands of people are being misdiagnosed with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, brain dysfunction, children considered stupid, retarded, just because of this insidious Polysorbate 80 in your diet. And you don't know. And it's in many ice cream, almost all, cheeses, dairy, canned goods. It's just in so much stuff, I can't tell you everything. And that is what I and my mother both were eating. It was in the ice cream. Okay. And if it's made in Canada, you better bloody well boycott all Canadian food, as that and 1,000 other additives, including rapeseed alias canola oil, will be in it. Okay, folks, get real. We don't have right to know legislation in this country. Yeah, right, some friggin' democracy. Too bad our new Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has shown no concern for the health of Canadian children. I wrote to his caucus over the years so many times I can't even keep track. And never once did I even get a reply. Kiss my butt or anything, nothing. Okay, Canadian children and people with allergies are dying with less rights than a stray dog. Dogs have activists, and we have no one in this country. Americans are the only agencies and people who ever helped me with my research. I owe them everything I am today, forever grateful for giving me a life worth living one day at a time. I am never perfect, too late for a cure, but just for today, I am pain-free, fully functional, and had one beautiful, amazing ski day with Giselle at my fantastic Capriel cross-country ski trails, the best in Ontario. Love that place. Want to die there. Check it out sometime. I have everything on YouTube and Facebook. It is my winter paradise on this earth to be able to ski Capriel Mountain, even if only for such a short time. I first got sick from a virus February 9th, since people go dancing and out in public despite having infections, and I have a dangerously low immune system. Just another wonderful side effect of rapeseed oil, alias canola oil, which really means Canada oil, folks, made by Monsanto, those Nazi pigs. Thanks to Health Canada, who is corrupt as hell. Hidden in my food that caused my Parkinsonism disease since the age of 6. Okay, I've said enough. I'm warning you, Here it is. I am not going to go into a long history. If you're interested in what will happen to your children, and if you continue to feed them Canadian food and don't fight for new laws and proper legislation so all ingredients are on, not just GMO, all ingredients, people, everything, including the additives. And we are the only country in the Western Hemisphere that has no right to know legislation what is in our food. And no company is required to list all ingredients on Canadian food labels. And that story and all the scientific proof is already on my website, 100% free, self-supporting nonprofit, www.okra-diet4all.com. Okay, check it out, folks. There's a lot of information. I've been at this for 30 years, and everything I know you've got for free. Because guess what? When I was rich, and believe me, poor sucks, but when I was rich, it didn't save me from a fate worse than death. For in dying, there is no more suffering. And my life has been horrendous, and I don't want you and your children to go through it. Okay, folks? And so that's it. I won't be dancing again until April because I've got to rebuild my immune system. I'm temporarily okay for a few hours, but it's never easy, and I'm never cured. And all those people who prayed for me, thank you so much. And to all those hundreds and millions of people around the world, especially the Americans that I can never say thank you to, and all your money went to help me in all my research, thank you. God bless everybody. Over and out.